Welcome back, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. So, Yes Man messaged me, heard about my complaints about not getting any good loot for killing Mr. House, and said he had a little gift for me waiting here. Parag Paradigm LLC receipt. The Big Foul. So this is another mod from, well, the mod author that made our Cyberpunk pistol, but they've changed their name. It used to be, like it was Electronic Old Man Prime or something, but they've since changed their name, so I don't remember what they are going by now, but I figured we could check this out. Where is it? Here we go. Why can't I go in the third person? What's going on? Very nice. Let's see if we can check it out outside. Arcade.
Lead the way.
Yep.
I need to talk to you about something, if you have a minute.
Sure.
Any day now? Caesar's going to try to march across Hoover Dam and kick NCR out of the Mojave. We're getting caught up in something important out here. Hell, after how you handled Benny, you're practically right in the middle of all this. I know I'm just along for the ride, but it's made me think about the past, and how I might be able to help out.
Oh, yeah? What are you talking about?
I wasn't always with the followers, or with the NCR. My late father was an officer in a group called the Enclave, a remnant of America's pre-war government. Memories being short around here, not a whole lot of people remember them. But they did bad things. Terrorized communities, kidnapped people. Eventually someone stopped them. I was born a few years later at a military base on the coast, a place called Navarro.
So what happened at Navarro?
After the Enclave's command structure fell apart, it was only a matter of time before Navarro was overrun by NCR forces. My mother and I left with some of the troopers from my father's old unit, the same people I've kept in contact with over the years. Anyone who didn't get out was killed by the NCR. Even some of the ones who escaped were eventually hunted down by the Brotherhood of Steel.
And where did they go?
A lot of different places. I only know what I was told. Some of them were cut down by the NCR and the Brotherhood. Some of them went east. My mother never told me what happened to my father, but she and I went south with some others and integrated into the NCR. When the NCR learned that Enclave personnel had integrated, we kept moving to the fringes. It's one of the reasons why I wound up out here.
Where are you going with this?
The Enclave did a lot of bad things, but there were good people in Navarro. Good people with a lot of experience. Not many of them are alive anymore, but I think they can make a difference in the fight against Caesar.
Do you want them to help the NCR?
That's a hard question to answer. I know I don't want the Legion to take Hoover Dam. So militarily, yes, I want them to help NCR. If possible, I'd like to figure out a way to help the NCR win Hoover Dam without holding New Vegas.
Say no more.
Great. I'd like you to talk to the old-timers, the remnants. I don't think I can convince them by myself. To them, I'm still a kid. But you're a big part of what's happening out here. When you talk to them, they'll understand how important this all is. I've kept in contact with them over the years, so I know where you can find them. But I doubt they'll open up to you unless I come along. I know I'm not always the most serious guy around, but this means a lot to me. Thanks.
No problem. All right. Got a suppressor. Magazine. Oh, it brings up to 13. Okay. And tactical kit. Jesus, how many lasers do you need? there supposed to be a scope with this? I can't quite tell. Like, it almost looks like it, but that's also a laser pointer, so... Alright. To Robert E. House from Paradigm LLC. Dear Mr. House, this document hereby acknowledges the purchase of a .45 ACP caliber firearm, serial numbers, customized to your personal specifications, hereafter referred to as the Big Fow. We also enclosed a number of additional attachments, also designed in accordance with your instructions. Payment of $2,500 US for the weapon has been cleared, and we hope you will enjoy your purchase. Sincerely, A. Xanthus, Senior Designer, Paradigm LLC Weapons Development Division. Nice. Let's see which letter we missed.
Hello.
This is an old quest. I've had this for a while. Strip letter 8. $230 XP. Dear Bravo Company, being transferred to the NCR embassy on the Strip has been the greatest thing that has happened to me since joining the NCR. It's a pretty easy gig watching the troopers during the day and making sure they don't get in trouble, and then we get to spend our free time hanging out at the bars and clubs, getting drunk and partying. Wish you were here. Private Seamer. Alright, well, I guess we may as well do Arcade's quest now. I know where a few of them are. Sharecropper Farms. Which one's that? Let's see. I know the pawn shop one.
Hey,
Judah?
you don't strike me as someone down on their luck. What brings you to West Side?
Arcade asked me to find you. I'm gathering the remnants.
Hello, Arcade. Making some new friends, are you? Why the need for a bunch of old war horses like us?
It'll be the element of surprise? Yeah, you tell me.
Well, assuming our equipment cache is intact, my squad would have the edge in armor and firepower. There's only a handful of us, though, so the best tactic would be for us to swoop in where the target isn't expecting us. How am I doing?
Does that mean you're in?
I'll be there, but it won't mean squat if the rest of the group isn't there, too. Oh, and you'll need my part of the passphrase to get into the bunker. Navarro.
Tell me about the old days.
I miss those days sometimes. We all had a purpose, you know? I admit that some of the folks in charge were pretty ruthless. The rest of us, though, we were just trying to civilize things. The NCR was still new, and it didn't look like they'd last all that long. Then we lost the oil rig, and shortly after that, the base at Navarro. Nobody left except us remnants.
What happened to the Enclave oil rig?
Internal sabotage took down the oil rig. Never did get the full story. The NCR took out Navarro, saying we posed a threat to the region.
And tell me more about the former squad.
I was the officer in charge, and Johnson and Moreno were my heavy hitters. Henry handled tech things, and Whitman flew the chopper. Johnson and Moreno never got along. And I had my hands full keeping those two apart some days. It was a difference in philosophy, mostly. Mercy was not part of Moreno's vocabulary.
Hmm. What do you do in West Side?
I help tend the crops, stand watch for fiends, and generally help keep things civilized.
Alright.
Uh-huh.
Judah Krieger is the glue that's kept us all together over the years, and with good reason. Anyone who can command Moreno and Johnson in the same unit without somebody getting fragged is one hell of a leader. Krieger was polite and kind, but never warm. He always did his best to make me feel welcome in the group. I think he did it out of a sense of loyalty to my father. Loyalty means a lot to Judah. Not loyalty to the Enclave, or even the ideals they fought for, but to the people who served him.
They're loyal to you too.
Sometimes I wonder how much of my father they see in me. They went through a lot together, but my family went through it too. I'm glad they've watched out for me all these years. Maybe someday I can return the favor.
Alright. Jacobstown? Whoa. He always scares me like that. Doc?
Is there something else I can do for you?
Arcade Gannon asked me to gather the former members.
I'm intrigued, so I'll go to this reunion. I'll be handing things over to Calamity, so talk to her if anything comes up. Oh, you'll need my word from the passphrase to get into the bunker. Friends. Don't forget it.
Alright. Oh, wait a minute. Am I gonna be able to do Rex's quest? Hold on.
Doc Henry always was a hard one to figure out. It didn't seem to matter whether he was working with humans or dogs. He had an equal lack of affection for both. A regular Diogenes. I'm not sure what the man was after. Knowledge is power, but to what end for Henry, I have no idea. The problem was what mattered to him, not its practical impact. He simply solved riddles because they existed.
His work was what mattered to him.
Not everyone dreams of being a revolutionary, I suppose. Maybe we can't all change the world. Maybe it's enough just to do good for the short time that we're here. No one's going to sing Doc Henry's praises when he's gone. But he's probably saved more lives than I am.
Alright, I'm gonna reload a save just for us entering here. 'Cause I don't know if, with him leaving, if we'll be able to do Rex's quest for the Robo Brain. We're swapping out the brain, so just to be safe. Yeah, we'll come back to Doc Henry after we get the brain I want for Rex. Let's do the other ones. Daisy, she's over at Novak. Nope, some sort of texture problem. Is this Daisy's room? Oh, there she is.
Your travels been going all right?
Yes, ma'am. Arcade asked me to find you. I'm reuniting the remnants, and they're gonna need your piloting skills.
Told you everything about us, did he? Well, it's been a while since I've had my hands on the controls of a vertibird. There's a chance I could crash us in the middle of Lake Mead. That place seems to attract aircraft for some reason. But if I get one more chance to fly, count me in. I'll be there. My part of the passphrase is dear.
How'd you like flying vertibirds?
I was never happier than when I was in the cockpit. I was able to go just about anywhere and everywhere, limited only by the fuel I could carry. There were more than a few missions where I took the scenic route home just so I could stay in the air. Caught hell for it every time, but worth it. Some of the things we did were questionable, I know. That's just how it was back then. Figure I've done enough good to make up for any sins, anyhow.
Alright.
Watch your six out there.
Since my mother died, Daisy's been the only woman in my life. She was the only other woman close to my father, too. She flew him out on over a dozen missions, including his last. I've always been close to Daisy. There have been some good men along the way, but lovers make poor confidants. Daisy never had children of her own, so she was always there to listen. Being in the Enclave didn't mean much to her. She just loved to fly. It broke her heart to be grounded.
It was an important part of her life. Why wouldn't she enjoy it?
As screwed up as it sounds, at least she was a part of something. Granted, it was something admittedly pretty bad, but it was something. If you spent the first half of your life flying Enclave troopers in a vertibird, I suppose picking over pre-war rocket parts doesn't quite compare.
Hmm. Alright. 3 more. Where is... No. No. Yes. Something I gotta do here.
Looks like trouble. I guess that could have gone worse.
I'm taking out the lasers. That just looks goofy. Let's see. There's supposed to be a unique version of a weapon here. I never bothered to pick it up, though. Is it in the water? Where is it? Boulder Beach Campground. One minute. Let me look at the Nexus real quick. Alright, I'm blind. It's right here. Osawix. Osawix? I believe that's a... I believe Sabaton has a song about that. What? Wait. Does it have a unique... Okay. For those of you that don't know, I guess the best way to explain it is look up the Sabaton song. I think it's what was it called? Attack of the Dead? Dead Men Attack? Anyway, it's about the soldiers at Auschwitz during World War One. And it's funny because the coughing is in reference to the fact that like they were presumed dead because they survived like a gas attack. So that's gonna get annoying though. I will refrain from using that too much. Anyway, moving on, we got Enclave to hunt down. Campbell Johnson's Cave. Alright. Guess this is gonna be full of enemies.
Looks like break time's over.
Yep. I should be using my new gun. Not this one, I barely have any ammo.
I could use a doctor's bag if you have any handy. I guess that could have gone worse.
Cannibal Johnson. Oh, Jesus. It's got traps. Watch out.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, it's about damn time. What took you? Oh,
Oh?
I've been in the Reaper's shadow for a long time now, and I thought he'd finally showed up to collect. He's just mocking me now.
Oh. Arcade asked me to... You sound like you're eager to die.
There's a twitch in my trigger finger. I've lost my eagle eyes, and the other day I could have sworn I heard Sergeant Dornan chewing me out. I'm old, and I'm starting to feel it. It's not pleasant, especially when you know your mind's slipping away. And we all gotta go sometime. But I was hoping for something a little more heroic.
Who's Sergeant Dornan?
He was a drill instructor I knew. He was also the meanest bastard I've ever known. Once he caught this private out of uniform, and old Dornan went off on the most ear-blistering rant known to man. It was inspiring.
Hmm. Hmm. So you're in the military?
Yeah. It was a long time ago. Things were better back then.
Well, tell me about yourself.
What do you want to know?
Are you a cannibal?
Ha! I'm not saying. It's part of my mystique, after all.
That sounds like there's an interesting story.
The truth of it is that I did cut out a raider's heart, but only took a bite to mess with his buddies. They had me surrounded, and I went with the first thing that came to mind. Some ran, and the rest were startled just long enough.
Hmm. You live out here by yourself?
Sure do. Had a wife for a while. Tribal girl. Really pretty eyes. But she's been gone a long time now.
Well, no more questions.
Well, ain't like I've got places to be.
Arcade asked me to gather all the remaining members of the Enclave.
Thought I recognized the fellow with you. So what's this reunion all about then?
Well, he thinks your experience and technology would help resolve the conflict in this region.
Well, now there's an interesting idea. Do a bit of good before we're all dead and forgotten. You can count me in. Oh, and in case Arcade forgot to mention it, there's a 5-word passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My word is old. Appropriate, huh?
Hmm.
If I had to pick anyone who didn't belong in the Enclave, it would definitely be Johnson. He hated what the Enclave was doing. Day to day, Week to week, he would question orders, subvert mission objectives, do anything he could to serve without serving. It's amazing he was never court-martialed. He always had good things to say about my father. Said I was like him in a lot of ways. I wish I knew.
Why worry about it? You don't have to be your father.
I grew up without him. I'll always feel like something is missing from my life, but you're right. It's not like I'm the only kid in the wasteland who's grown up without a dad. Johnson always said my father was a good man. If that's the only thing about me that's like him, that's enough for me.
There you go. Oh, shoot. Ah, there was a... Damn it. I knocked it into oblivion. Literally, the game Oblivion. There's just a holotape, it just fell into it. Damn it. Alright, one sec.
If I had to pick anyone who didn't...
Yeah. Alright.
Okay. I'll do my
Ribbon.
best.
Oh. Huh. Ribbon. I guess this is for New Vegas bounties then. That's actually kind of interesting then. Johnson, I thought Arthur Ribbon was long since gone, but I could have sworn I saw him outside Novak last week. It couldn't be him, right? He'd have to be crazy to stay in NCR territory. They'd hang him on the spot for what he did at the oil rig. I'm interested to hear back from you on this, Carter. Interesting.
What brings you around this time?
Sound like you make it sound like avoiding instant deaths was uncommon in the Enclave.
I'm sorry to say that it was. Civilian casualties was acceptable and sometimes encouraged. My former squad mate Moreno didn't need encouraging. Moreno and I might have killed each other if Captain Krieger hadn't been there to pull us apart. Be seeing you. Maybe.
Well, looks like it's time for us to go find Moreno. You know what? Actually, I do think I remember him. I think we ran into him. He's like the only member of the squad that was just, well, I guess other than Doc Henry, he's the only one that was like open about being in the Enclave, I think. Yes. Okay, wait, east? Yeah. The other one's Doc Henry.
Yeah.
Hey, Arcade and I were looking for you. We're gathering the remnants.
Been a while, Arcade. So, what's the point of all this? Can't find any younger mercenaries?
Your advanced level of tech would be useful in settling things between the NCR and Legion.
Is that right? The million-dollar question is, who exactly are we settling?
Do you have a preference?
I wouldn't mind cutting down a few platoons of NCR troopers with my old Gatling laser.
Coming to this thing or what?
Oh, I'll come. But depending on the plan, I might not be staying. Keep that in mind. Arcade might have mentioned there's a passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My part is remember.
So what did you do when you were with the Enclave?
Heavy weapons trooper. Nothing better than hosing down a target with an excess of bullets and laser fire. By the time I got through with things, not much was left standing. Any morons who didn't run when they saw me coming got what they deserved. Back then, it was war. If we'd been on the winning side, I'd be called a hero.
Moreno took the fall of the Enclave hard. He never questioned his orders, never questioned the legitimacy of what the Enclave was doing. To him, it was all one unbroken chain, from Washington to Richardson. When we left Navarro, I remember looking up at Moreno. He said, "Kiss America goodbye, boys." When we left the Enclave behind, the love in him burned itself out. Now there's just a bitter old man left.
Man should know when to let go.
It's been decades, you know. By now, he's been out of the Enclave longer than he was in. Most people know when to hang it up and start over. But not Moreno.
Man, you look like Grandad from the Boondocks. Alright. Well, we're going to cut here. Next episode, heading over to the fort. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.